There are marks on your face and body that for many years you may have believed were imperfections, yet one day it dawns on you that these very features are actually treasures destiny has quietly reserved for your 60s. Some signs appear on your face and body that might stir feelings of self-consciousness. Society often labels these as unattractive signs of aging or evidence of fading beauty. But have you ever wondered that, according to traditional physiognomy and the mystical art of feng, these traits are living proof of hidden fortune gradually surfacing? There are women who, once reaching 60, may seem simple or even a little rugged upon first glance. However, as they journey through life, fortune increasingly favors them. With each passing year, their abundance and blessings multiply. They don't require cosmetic procedures or heavy makeup because their destiny is already etched in every feature. It's just that few have possessed the keen eye to see it. Today you will unveil 7 signs that might initially appear unattractive, but are, in truth, powerful indicators of an incredibly lucky, peaceful, and fulfilling life in later years. These are traits ancient feng masters revered as secret symbols of fortune in old age. The longer you live, the greater your blessings become. Before we dive in, please leave a positive affirmation in the comments below, such as, "I appreciate myself," or "I am ready to embrace the blessings of my 60s. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you won't miss the upcoming feng and spiritual insights designed to transform your destiny from within. Now, let's explore each of the 7 signs. Who knows, among these hidden blessings revealed on your face, you might discover parts of your own journey quietly unfolding. Number 1. A high and wide forehead. Many people humorously refer to it as an airport forehead, a light-hearted way of describing a forehead that is tall, broad, and smooth, sometimes so smooth it can make the overall face appear less delicate or traditionally feminine. For women, particularly as the years pass, this feature often becomes a quiet source of self-consciousness. Yet here lies the irony, and the timeless wisdom hidden in traditional physiognomy. Such a forehead is not a flaw at all. On the contrary, a spacious, high forehead has long been regarded as a mark of keen intelligence, divine favor, and a life that flourishes more abundantly with age. An old saying states, "A high forehead speaks of intelligence. A wide forehead signifies prosperity for the husband and the household." The forehead is thought to be the part of the face that first receives light from the heavens, symbolizing a direct connection to higher realms. In face reading, this upper region reveals clarity of thought, profound wisdom, and the gift of perceiving life from a broad perspective. When a woman in her 60s carries such a forehead, one that appears luminous, even-toned, smooth, and free from deep creases or heavy worry lines, it is interpreted as a powerful sign. It reflects not only preserved sharpness of mind, but also the blossoming of wisdom into its most graceful and serene form. Women blessed with this feature are often recognized for their calm temperament. They possess the ability to observe the whole picture without getting disturbed by trivialities. Typically, they are the silent anchors of their families. Women who shy away from drama, yet hold everything in balance simply through their quiet strength and steady insight. They are not ones to speak hastily or rush into decisions, but when they do lend their voice, every person around takes notice. Their words resonate, carrying the weight of lived experience, careful thought, and compassion, not because they demand to be right, but because wisdom makes itself felt without force. By the age of 60, this forehead itself becomes symbolic. It shines almost like a seal of triumph, announcing, "This woman has traveled deeply through life, stepped storms, and arrives here not defined by fading youthful beauty, but crowned with the kind of wisdom that no years can erase." In later life, women with such foreheads naturally step into roles of guidance, Mentors of the family, gentle advisors whose words soothe, teachers whose lives inspire, and spiritual anchors who help loved ones steady themselves amid chaos. There is, moreover, a fascinating spiritual element to this. The forehead is home to the third eye, the space between the brows connected with intuition. A broad and radiant forehead suggests not only heightened intelligence, but also an awakened inner vision, the ability to sense subtle energies, and the gift of piercing insight, particularly when one lives with mindfulness and self-reflection. Many such women carrying luminous foreheads are known to sense events before they unfold. They can discern truth and intention without relying on explanations. Far from superstition, this is understood as the harmony of intellect and intuition, an ability cultivated through a life layered with rich experiences and spiritual growth. Number 2. A garlic-shaped nose. Among all the facial features women tend to feel most self-conscious about, the so-called garlic-shaped nose often ranks near the top of the list, one that may appear larger, round-tipped, with broader nostrils. These traits are sometimes judged as lacking refinement or gentle femininity, especially once a woman reaches her 60s. As the skin naturally loses elasticity with age, the nose can appear more pronounced, and many women find themselves gazing in the mirror with a touch of disappointment. Yet here lies a truth that not everyone is aware of in traditional face reading, particularly within Eastern physiognomy. The nose is regarded as the wealth palace. It represents prosperity, financial stability, material resources, and the support of important connections. A rounded, fleshy, and well-proportioned nose, neither sharp nor sunken, is actually considered an incredibly positive sign for attracting and safeguarding fortune, especially during midlife and beyond. There is even an old saying, "A big nose fears no poverty." While it might sound light-hearted, this proverb reflects a deeper wisdom rooted in centuries of observation. A strong, full nose with a prominent tip and solid nostrils suggests someone with the ability to gather resources, manage finances wisely, and remain grounded through life's many ups and downs. By the time a woman reaches 60, if her nose maintains its fullness and does not become bony or hollow, it signals that her financial destiny has entered its most stable and secure chapter. Such women may not always be the highest earners in the household, but they often prove to be the ones who preserve wealth for the longest time. They are careful with spending, mindful of saving, and thoughtful about planning ahead. This quiet financial strength often makes them the unseen foundation of the family, the very person children and grandchildren rely on during difficult times. Even beyond money, the nose reflects connections with helpers and benefactors in life, as well as a type of subtle romantic charm. Women with round, garlic-shaped noses often attract others not through striking beauty, but by radiating warmth, sincerity, and a sense of comfort. They are approachable, genuine, and trustworthy, qualities that naturally draw hearts closer. It is a quiet, enduring form of attraction, one that strengthens with age and inspires lasting bonds. From a spiritual perspective, a full and fleshy nose is also considered a vessel for ancestral blessings. It acts like a container holding wealth energy. The more substantial it is, the greater its ability to preserve prosperity and carry forward inherited luck. When such a woman lives with generosity, kindness, and integrity, her fortune not only remains protected, but tends to expand, fueled by the goodwill she continues to cultivate through her actions. However, it is crucial to remember that no physical feature functions in isolation. A prosperous-looking nose still requires balance, a healthy state of mind, a harmonious way of living, and emotional steadiness. A woman blessed with favorable features who chooses bitterness, envy, or anger will quickly see the signs shift. The skin may lose brightness, the tip may sag, and the energy around her face may grow heavy. So if you have always felt uncertain about your nose, it is time to look at it with fresh eyes. Realize that what you thought was a flaw may in fact be a natural treasury, an inheritance of abundance and blessings patiently waiting for your recognition, your care, and your pride. Number 3. A double chin. Among all the features of the face, the double chin is perhaps one of the most common sources of self-consciousness for women as they step into middle age. At this stage, the skin begins to lose its firmness, and the chin, once sharp and defined, may start to soften and fold. Society often labels this change as a double chin, a phrase that sounds heavy and unflattering, leaving many women feeling as though their beauty is slipping away. As a result, some try to disguise it with scarves, long hair, or by avoiding photos taken from a side angle. But here is where perspective shifts. What the world calls a flaw is in fact one of the most auspicious signs of grace, prosperity, and blessing in a woman's later years. In the practice of face reading, the chin is considered symbolic of the last stage of life, from midlife through the elder years. A chin that is round, full, and fleshed out, rather than bony or sharp, is interpreted as a sign of longevity, serenity, and abundance. When paired with plump cheeks and a voice that is calm and steady, it reveals an individual destined for a comfortable, worry-free, and harmonious old age. There is even a deeper layer to this belief. When a woman's double chin becomes more pronounced as she grows older, it suggests she is accumulating blessings from the good deeds, compassion, and kindness she has carried throughout her life. Such women are often naturally gentle, generous, and calm-spirited. They avoid unnecessary quarrels, prefer sincerity over smooth words, and tend to be thoughtful in action. Within the family, they are cherished figures who never cause harm, never stir conflict, and always extend a helping hand. It is precisely this energy of quiet goodness that draws fortune and peace toward them as the years pass. Many ancient texts in physiognomy describe the double chin as a mark of inner compassion and material abundance. When combined with soft, compassionate eyes, a gentle voice, and strong, rounded shoulders, it paints the picture of a person who will enjoy a long and graceful life, surrounded by loyal children and a household filled with harmony. Folklore even preserves a beautiful saying: women with double chins may not receive their blessings early in life, but once blessings arrive, they endure and never fade. From a spiritual perspective, the chin is seen as a gathering point for grounding energy, an energy that is calm, steady, and nurturing. Women carrying this energy are not easily unsettled by slander or chaos. They do not seek the spotlight, yet wherever they go, they bring a sense of stability and quiet comfort to the people around them. Their presence is like that of a soft pillow, rarely praised aloud, but deeply relied upon by everyone. In families, such women often become the true pillars, not through speeches or grand gestures, but through their consistent warmth and endless patience. Most importantly, this kind of chin does not need concealing, correction, or shame. Instead, it flourishes when nurtured with a peaceful way of life, speaking kindly, letting go of envy, releasing anger, and choosing compassion. With this gentle self-care, even a double chin begins to radiate, making the skin appear more vibrant, the energy lighter, and the overall presence more magnetic. Over time, it transforms into a sign not only of softness and beauty, but also of deep comfort that attracts love and respect wherever one goes. Number 4. Thick thighs and full hips. In the modern world, where beauty ideals frequently glorify slim, slender figures, having thick thighs can quietly become a source of self-consciousness for many women, particularly as they grow older. They may feel uncomfortable wearing dresses, become hesitant when shopping for pants, and often try to conceal their lower bodies with long shirts, flowing skirts, or shawls. But here steps the unexpected truth. From the viewpoint of traditional face and body reading, thick thighs are far from being a flaw. In fact, they are a profoundly positive sign, symbolizing wealth, stability, and an innate ability to sustain prosperity. There is an old adage, thick thighs and heavy hips keep the wealth in the home. What may sound like a simple folk saying actually encapsulates a deep principle within face reading. Thighs are viewed as the pillars of the earth, signifying strong roots, endurance, and inner stability. In the body's energetic framework, the lower half from the waist down embodies the earth element, which stands for strength, resilience, protection, and accumulation. Women with thick, rounded thighs often embody practicality, frugality, and a nurturing spirit toward their families. They are not swayed by unrealistic ambitions. Most importantly, they possess a steady, quiet power to attract and sustain wealth. Once a woman passes 60, if she is no longer extremely slender, especially if her thighs and hips appear fuller, it signals that blessings have returned to her foundations. Her life becomes more stable and less tumultuous, and she often emerges as a trustworthy pillar for her loved ones. She may not be extravagant or loud, but her reliability and strength earn her the trust and dependence of those around her. Thick thighs symbolize more than just financial abundance. They also represent the strength that nurtures and sustains the entire family. Women with this trait tend to be caretakers, excellent cooks, and thoughtful organizers, those who manage both the household and everything within it smoothly. What distinguishes them is their humility. They maintain the family's prosperity and harmony quietly, without flair or fuss. They are like fertile soil, unassuming but capable of nurturing a flourishing garden. From a spiritual perspective, the thighs and lower body are deeply connected to ancestral karma and roots. Women with a full lower half often carry the blessings of their ancestors, indicating that their inherited fortune remains robust. They live in harmony with tradition, uphold family values, and frequently become the custodians of their family's history and legacy. This explains why, in many traditional villages, mothers and grandmothers with fuller bodies and thick thighs were always the anchors of the household. They didn't need many words. Their very presence brought a profound sense of peace and stability to the entire home. Number 5. A wide jawline. There is a feature of the face that often goes unnoticed, yet in traditional face reading it carries profound significance: the jawline. Particularly for women, a strong, broad or angular jaw is sometimes regarded as lacking delicacy, even interpreted as severe or overly forceful. Yet when understood through a deeper lens, this very feature reveals qualities that are far from undesirable. It is a mark of resilience, steadiness, and the capacity to shoulder immense responsibilities, both in one's personal life and for the family as a whole. In the language of face reading, the jawline symbolizes resolve, inner power, and unwavering determination. A woman who bears a defined jaw does not always need to display boldness or command attention through words. Her strength is quieter, but firmer. Once she makes a choice, it is nearly impossible to sway her course. She carries what may be called a silent authority, a presence that inspires respect without demanding it. As the years pass, and she moves into the later stages of life, particularly beyond 60, this feature becomes all the more pronounced. Her lived experience, her trials, and her wisdom leave a calm dignity etched into her face. The strong jaw, once seen as harsh in youth, ripens into the sign of someone whose inner character has been refined by life's seasons. Women with broad jaws are rarely the type who pursue life in solitude. Rather, they tend to sacrifice their own ease for the sake of others, often stepping into the role of supporter and protector. In youth, they may face more hardships and fewer luxuries than others, as though life were honing their strength early. Yet, because of those challenges, they grow into pillars for their families. When children begin their own lives, it is these women who provide guiding direction. When crises strike, they steady the household like an anchor in turbulent waters. In times of confusion, they speak not to control but to bring balance. There is a saying, "A woman with a mighty jaw safeguards the destiny of the family line." It may sound exaggerated, but when observed in daily life, the meaning becomes clear. Such women are the ones who keep the family intact, who nurture their children onto the right path, who guard the sanctity of marriage, and who preserve peace within the home. Their beauty is not always of fragility or delicacy. Instead, they reveal an inner nobility, thoughtfulness, wisdom, and a compassion that runs deep, free from sentimentality yet grounded in kindness. In the principles of physiognomy, the lower jaw also reflects the foundation of one's vitality and the blessings built through living with integrity. A robust jaw is associated with both emotional and physical stability. Women who carry this feature seldom fall into prolonged illness because their inner core is strong and centered. They are rarely shaken by external turmoil. More importantly, they are often gifted with long lives, for they understand how to conserve themselves, how to endure without burning out, and how to remain balanced through every upheaval. They are not quick to anger, nor are they quick to quit. So when you notice your jawline growing more distinct or heavier with age, do not view it as a loss of femininity. Instead, see it as your energy settling firmly into its true roots. A strong jawline is not diminishing your grace. It is revealing a deeper force, the enduring essence of the mother, the grandmother, the keeper of heritage, the guardian of continuity. While the world shifts restlessly and others may bend with every change, you are the one who knows your ground. You recognize when to step forward, what words to speak, and how to preserve harmony when others cannot. Within that strength lies the timeless beauty of stability and inner power. Number 6. Short and rough fingers. For many, the hands are the very first feature that reveals a person's elegance and subtle grace. People often admire hands that are long and slender, with smooth fingers and nails that are finely shaped and neatly cared for. In contrast, when fingers are shorter, thicker, or the skin feels rough and textured, such hands are quickly labeled as plain, unattractive, or working hands. Especially with age, they seem to tell the truth of time itself. Skin that darkens, veins that stand forward, joints that stiffen, and many women feeling self-conscious quietly hide their hands during conversations, as though they are something to be concealed. Yet, when seen through the eyes of someone who understands both life and the wisdom embedded in physiognomy, these very same hands are pages of a living diary, each mark and line a testimony to a life of effort, patience, tenderness, and quiet sacrifice. In the older traditions of face and hand reading, short, thick fingers or coarse textured skin were never signs to look down upon. On the contrary, they reflected the qualities of people who walk through life with sincerity, who build fortune not with superficial charm, but with steady, consistent action. Those with such hands are often described as strong-handed, not in a way that is cruel or overbearing, but in a way that is grounded and decisive. Whatever they turn their attention to, they complete with certainty. They know how to earn their living, and more importantly, they know how to preserve and manage it. They do not gamble with their resources, nor chase after hollow gains. Instead, their belief rests firmly on effort, honesty, and true worth. And strangely, because they never run behind recognition or material wealth, abundance and peace seem to arrive at their doorstep naturally, as though drawn by their quiet integrity. Women with such rugged hands often turn out to be remarkably skilled in domestic crafts, preparing meals that nourish, mending clothes with speed and care, tending to plants that flourish, and rarely leaving their hands idle. But beyond skill, their palms carry a heavier energy, the unmistakable weight of responsibility. They are the unseen keepers of the household, ensuring stability in ways that may never be celebrated in poetry, but are far more essential Warm food at the table, freshly washed clothes folded neatly, roofs patched before rain begins to fall. They rarely ask for acknowledgement, yet the universe writes blessings into their destiny, for hands that never complain become sacred instruments of service. Hands, after all, are not just physical tools. They are living extensions of the heart and mind. A pair of warm, strong, veined hands moving with calm, graceful gestures can carry a power that heals. When such hands rest on your shoulder or gently soothe you, there is an immediate quieting of the spirit. The comfort they give is not born of touch alone. It radiates from the strength, kindness, and life force built through years of patience, compassion, and honest labor. To many, beauty in hands is defined as the absence of wrinkles, scars, or calluses. But if you've ever held the hand of a mother or grandmother, you will see a different beauty altogether. Every line, every vein, every stiffened joint is a work of art, more profound than flawless skin could ever be. Because these were the hands that steadied you when you stumbled, that fed you when you were hungry, that sacrificed silently so you might live in more comfort and peace. Number 7. Uneven eyebrows. In the art of physiognomy, eyebrows are often regarded as the roof of the eyes, a symbolic crown that frames not only one's gaze, but also one's inner essence. They are believed to mirror the spirit, reveal emotions, and even reflect aspects of moral integrity. Symmetry, delicacy, and graceful shaping in eyebrows are usually admired by most. Such brows are seen as pleasing and harmonious. And so, when eyebrows appear uneven, when one sits higher than the other, with stray hairs scattered in opposite directions, many observers are quick to label them as unruly, imbalanced, or even unlucky signs that hint at disorderly fortune. Yet, those who have studied the deeper layers of traditional face reading know a subtler truth. Uneven eyebrows, particularly observed in women around the age of 60, often hold a rare and significant meaning. They do not appear on everyone, and when they do, they mark the presence of a soul that is authentic, emotionally profound, and spiritually receptive. Why is this so? In physiognomy, eyebrows symbolize much more than physical beauty. They embody emotions, human bonds, and the quality of one's relationships, whether with siblings, confidants, or lifelong companions. Women who carry uneven brows usually have intricate stories woven through their lives, chapters of profound love, periods of heartbreak, instances of selfless sacrifice, and times of being deeply misunderstood. But it is exactly those experiences, the joys, the wounds, the trials, that mold such women into beings of immense depth. They grow patient, empathetic, and non-judgmental, with a quiet wisdom that stems not from books but from life itself. By the 6th decade of life, when uneven eyebrows emerge, they often signal a passage into spiritual maturity and self-realization. At this stage, such women no longer feel the need to chase appearances or seek validation. Instead, they observe the world with contemplative eyes, listen with profound care, and live more fully aligned with their true nature. There is something curiously precise in the symbolism of uneven brows. People with them often develop a heightened intuition, a kind of inner radar that instantly detects the energies of others, whether kind or deceptive. While they may lack academic credentials or eloquent expressions, their silence often carries more weight than the words of many. They can see beyond surfaces, and without being superstitious, they naturally bridge the realm of the visible and the spiritual. Premonitions, vivid dreams, or sudden emotional responses to faraway events in loved ones' lives are not unusual for them. When women with uneven eyebrows choose to walk a mindful path, practicing sincerity, kindness, and ethical living, their intuitive nature expands almost effortlessly. They may even awaken latent spiritual gifts, becoming healers, guides, or luminous sources of comfort and inspiration for others. It is no coincidence that revered spiritual practitioners, wise elders, and grounded motherly figures often bear imperfect or asymmetrical eyebrows. To outsiders, these brows may appear unruly, growing in different directions or lacking polish, but in truth, they reveal a soul too genuine to hide behind artificial perfection. The face mirrors the life, and uneven brows echo honesty, courage, and unfiltered truth. When you step back and consider all of these signs, you may find yourself quietly wondering, why are the features we once dismissed as flaws, in fact, keepers of hidden blessings? The answer lies in the profound bond between the outward form and the inner spirit. We are often told that appearance reflects the heart, yet few truly grasp the depth of that wisdom. For appearance is not merely the surface reflection that the eye perceives. It is the living map of our journey, the imprint of every thought, trial, and victory we have experienced, not only in this lifetime but perhaps across many. A square jaw, an uneven gaze, a forehead that protrudes, thighs that are thicker, shoulders slightly uneven. These are not flaws in the truest sense. They are signatures of destiny, living reminders carved into form by the paths we have walked and the essence we carry within us. Have you ever paused to reflect on why imperfections do not diminish someone's natural charm? In fact, the longer you observe, the more you sense warmth, genuineness, and an unshakable steadiness radiating from them. That is because what lies before you is not a hardened exterior, but an honest reflection of life lived. A face formed not just by time, but by karma, by years of kindness, patience, and integrity woven into one's being. The law of cause and effect is not confined to words or deeds. It imprints itself on the body as well. Those who have endured trials, sacrificed their own comfort, or quietly carried burdens for others rarely retain a flawless appearance. But each sacrifice becomes a seed of blessing, and those blessings take root deep within the frame, settling into lines, shapes, and edges. The roughness of a hand often tells the story of countless acts of service. The soft curve of a chin may mirror generosity, a life of giving more than receiving. A heavy, deliberate step could mark a lifetime of rushing to meet others' needs. From a spiritual perspective, this truth becomes even more profound. Appearance is never accidental. Every crease, every wrinkle, every callus forms a script written by the soul itself. It is the vibration of spirit fused with the experiences of the body. A person with a kind heart, gentle speech, and compassionate spirit, even without perfect features, naturally radiates comfort and safety. Someone who has carried difficulties without complaint will often shine with calm resilience. Without makeup, without fashion or embellishment, some people magnetize others simply through their presence. Modern science, though slow, is beginning to validate this ancient wisdom. Fields like energy studies, neuroscience, psychology, and biology all point toward the same truth. Our inner world cannot remain hidden. It reshapes the body over time. A life spent in stress, resentment, or jealousy leaves its imprint as tension in the shoulders, shadows beneath the eyes, frowns etched on the forehead, and a dullness dimming the gaze. But a heart rooted in gratitude, serenity, and openness gives rise to features that, while not conventionally perfect, radiate harmony, carrying a subtle glow that calms and draws admiration. This is why a so-called flaw is not a flaw at all. It is a sacred signature, proof of the soul's journey. It cannot be purchased with luxury creams, nor handed down entirely through genetics. It is the appearance born from within, the living evidence of karma, authenticity, and a life built on goodness. When you grasp that appearance blooms from the heart, you realize the light on your face stems not from symmetry or shape, but from your thoughts, your way of life, and the relationship you hold with yourself. Here lies a truth often overlooked. Features alone cannot preserve beauty. If you live in negativity, envy, or constant worry, blessings slowly dissolve, because while appearance is form, it is spirit that carries true energy. And this energy decides whether you attract abundance or repel it. A person may hold outward signs of fortune, a high forehead, a strong nose, a rounded chin. But if their eyes remain clouded by exhaustion, if their brow sinks from ceaseless worry, if their lips purse with unspoken irritation, their energy weakens and even the most favorable features fade with time. Meanwhile, there are those with uneven lines, imperfect skin, or far from ideal figures, yet they carry soft smiles, luminous eyes, and voices with gentle warmth. Within minutes of speaking to them, you feel nurtured, safe, and drawn closer. That is spiritual radiance. And spiritual radiance cannot be bought in a store. It does not arise from wealth, cosmetics, or status. It springs from how you meet yourself each day, whether with gratitude and peace, or with resentment and unrest. Sadness left unattended clouds the face, not only with tears but with the vibration it carries. Anxieties and bitterness dull the eyes until their clarity disappears. But the moment you breathe deeply, release control, and look at life with appreciation, transformation begins. Day by day, the energy shifts. The face grows lighter. The aura softens. The voice carries presence and strength. And that subtle inner shift changes life itself. Blessings appear where struggles once stood, doors open where walls once blocked you, and tangled knots of fate gently loosen. And perhaps one day you will realize there is no such thing as ugly. Not when you view others with eyes of understanding and yourself with a heart of acceptance. Each crease, every mark, and each so-called imperfection tells a sacred story of sacrifices made quietly, of burdens lifted without recognition, of love and kindness offered freely. By the time you reach 60, you will no longer feel the need to change yourself. You will sense instead the importance of honoring yourself, of embracing the loving currents residing in every cell of your body. So pause for a moment now, and affirm for yourself, I accept myself completely as I am, or choose any positive declaration that resonates with your soul. Let this be your first step to awakening your spiritual glow and unlocking the gentle stream of fortune flowing toward you. If this message touched you, remember to support the journey, like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Together, we will continue exploring the timeless teachings of feng, face reading, and spiritual wisdom, guidance that holds the power to quietly shape your destiny. Because sometimes transforming your life does not require changing the world, only changing how you see it.